Into a super cold intro right onto the live radio as well as onto live YouTube. Hello, live YouTube. You're going to need to pull yourself onto camera here. So,
hey YouTube.
Yes, hello YouTube. Hello Jess FM. We are going to pause some of the music that's playing on in the background here because that is just inconvenient and distracting. And we don't necessarily need it at the time being. But we should introduce ourselves. So, we are on Jess FM live. We are also on YouTube live. I'm Thomas James Rose Carpenter. This is Gianna Isabella. Is that what we want to go with?
Yeah.
Yeah? Excellent. She's a movie star.
I wish.
It's true. It's true. How do I gauge it? Yes.
Okay.
I'll decide, and I have decided. Okay. That's how it's going to be.
Okay.
That's what we're telling the world. This is a self-fulfilling prophecy, so we are going to speak it into being. And right now we're actually live on Jess FM, and the show is called Info Assault. We do this every week, every Saturday. We bring somebody on. We talk about something, and it's always interesting and different and unique and special. So, you know what I should do? Is I should probably make sure that we can hear everything. Oh, yes, I sound great. You should talk.
Do I sound great?
Oh, you sound super fantastic. But you should sit a little closer.
Okay, I'll sit closer.
Just a smidgen. Just a smidgen.
Mm-hmm.
And I could probably back that up. So, there. You can see your lovely face on camera.
Oh, God.
Excellent. So, what brings you onto the show today? I mean, I looked you up. I've got you right here. I printed you off.
I see that.
Yeah, I know. It's probably intimidating, right?
A little bit.
No,
yeah.
it's, I mean, so I could read this all off, but it's pretty elaborate. I mean, you put yourself out there. Yeah, kind of like me, honestly. But why don't you self-describe yourself? Do you like that description?
Oh, God, okay. Well, I'm a filmmaker.
A filmmaker.
A filmmaker.
Maker.
Right, because I do more than one job, so it's easier to describe.
I mean, I could describe myself as making a film right now, but I don't think that that's what you're talking about, is it?
I mean, a little bit, sure.
Okay, well, what's the difference between what I'm doing, what we're doing? This is a team effort.
Team effort.
Yeah, you're making a film.
Yeah.
But what do you do typically as a filmmaker?
So I produce, I direct, I write, and sometimes I edit.
Okay, so like it's totally planned out, and you've got a
Yes.
precise idea of exactly what everybody's going to say, and the timing and tempo and the speed and the lighting and the camera angles, and there's probably multiple cameras. Okay, so this is a pretty involved thing. How long have you been doing that for?
So I've been doing it since I went to the U of L. So I graduated in 2010.
That is correct. You did graduate in 2010.
It's on my resume.
It is true. It is true. I mean, if I were to make an educated guess, I'm gonna say you're 31.
Oh, very good. That's spot on.
Yeah. You know how I know? No. You graduated in 2004. I graduated in 2005, and I'm 30. So
well then.
One. So that was the thing. CCH, I hear. Are you from Lethbridge?
Not originally. I was born in Ireland.
In Ireland? Born in Ireland. Wow. Didn't specifically know that. So, how long ago did you come here?
I was 5.
And you were 5.
So I'm pretty much from here.
Well, you were raised here, for sure.
Yeah.
Why did your family decide to come to Canada?
Good question.
Yes.
I mean, the Irish economy wasn't doing too good, and so we just packed up and came here because I had a couple aunts here and a great uncle and aunt. So.
Okay. Were they living in Alberta at the time, or?
They're living in Lethbridge.
Oh, so you just picked up and moved straight here.
Yeah.
And you pretty much stayed here ever since then.
Yes.
Excellent, except for that brief stint when you went to Calgary.
Kind of.
Kind of?
Yeah.
Why don't you elaborate on that then?
Well, with each production I travel, so depending on where the production is where I'll be for the time of the production. So
you must have traveled around a fair bit then, assuming you've done more than one production.
Yeah, I have.
I mean, I looked, and I don't know how accurate that was. It said 14 at the time. Is that still accurate?
14.
14 films.
Yeah, I think it's more now.
But that's what I thought.
Yeah.
It didn't look like it was necessarily updated. So what's the difference between a production and or is this just semantics? Are they all the same thing? Is a film the same as a production?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
But production is a portion of the film, right? So you're there for the shoot. So if I'm working on a bigger movie, I'm there for production usually.
Okay.
Sometimes for pre-production.
All right. Well, these are all terms that I'm sure most people have no idea what that actually means. So,
Yeah.
you know what? Why don't you describe from start to finish, seeing as you take credit for making films, apparently. Why don't you describe the process from start to finish for an actual professional film? What do you have to go through for, like, if you need cast, or what do you do? Explain it. Explain it to the audience. Explain it to me so that I don't have to sound so stupid trying to ask a question.
No. I guess, like, the first job. Well, if I'm producing, so if I'm the producer, the first job is to find a script
Mm-hmm.
or somebody to write a script if there's an idea, and then you go and oversee the development of that script and how it goes from draft one through however many it takes until it's shooting ready.
So I guess you kind of you make sure that it's congruent with what a film would be able to film, as opposed to just an idea, or like what's the difference between a book and a script?
Oh, well, a book is definitely far more detailed than a script would be, and a script is very technical. It's written as characters talking and then brief descriptions, but not in-depth into their mind kind of descriptions. You leave that up to the actors, right?
Okay, so it's got some creative liberties and some artistic flair that's involved. And awesome. So let's say you've got a script now, and you've got this great idea, this condensed book that's been rewritten with a lot of space for actors to have some creative liberties into it.
Yeah.
What do you do after that as the producer? You've overseen this. You've got the people to play the parts. What then?
Well, before you get all that, you have to raise the finance.
Oh, raising finances. So you're telling me this isn't free? You don't just make a whole bunch of money?
No.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay, so what is a typical film? How do you budget a film? Like, what kinds of films do you budget? I imagine there's tons of different ones.
Yes.
Like Pixar making a completely animated film would have a completely different budget than, Blair Witch Project with a Handycam or whatever. And so what kind of budgets do you know of, or can explain to?
That I've done?
Sure, yeah.
I've done a lot of different budgets, so, it depends on what the project is, right? So if the project is only a couple characters in one location, it's going to cost significantly less than if it's VFX heavy, or animation is expensive just because it's so elaborate and detailed.
Absolutely.
And there's so many artists working on it. And then, short films are usually very, very low budget, so I've worked on very, very low budget, asking for a lot of favors.
Fair enough. Well, it's easier to get less money than to get a lot. So, what's your personal favorite style of movie or production or whatever? What would you say you prefer doing?
My favorite kinds of movies are gangster movies.
Gangster movies. Excellent. So, have you made any gangster movies?
I have made sort of a funny kind of spin-off.
Like a mock gangster movie?
Yeah.
What's that? Describe that to us. If this is your favorite style of movie and you've made one, what was that about?
Well, it's called Tom Gaffney is a Gangster.
Tom Gaffney is a gangster. Okay, it's got a good intro. I'm interested. Who's Tom Gaffney and why is he a gangster?
What was an ironic title because he's not really a gangster.
Totally not a gangster. Got it. Okay, cool.
So he has worked up in his imagination that that's what he wants to be because he's not good at anything else.
So he figures he should be a gangster, and that's what he spends his life trying to become.
Yeah.
How long of a movie is that?
Oh, it's only like 15 minutes long.
So would that be considered like a short film type, or? So what was involved in that movie? I guess after you'd gotten your idea and the script and whatnot together, and you'd figured out your favors you needed to call in to get the movie actually made.
Yeah.
What was the next step for you?
So I wrote that while I was working on another film. And then I already knew who was going to be acting in it.
Mm-hmm.
I had friends that I was going to ask, and I had friends who were going to do the other portions of production. So it was a bit easier in that sense.
Okay, so you know, you've met the right people in the right places that can possibly hobble something together, and
Yeah.
okay.
And then I had one friend who had a little bit of cash. Not a whole lot, but like enough. To pay for the food, a little bit of food, and for the camera rental. So
Sweet. So what? So you made a movie. It was 50 minutes long. What happened? Like, what happens after you make it?
Well, I submitted it to several film festivals, and no one liked it.
Okay, well, I guess that is one type of response that definitely can happen. I guess we can't really assume that everything is going to be a smashing success. Although, with the number of movies you've been in,
mm-hmm.
I'd be willing to bet that some of them have been.
I hope so, yeah. I mean, well, that one eventually got picked up by Rio TV, which is Apple's newest, I don't know, like TV app. It's
Excellent, excellent.
Like Spotify for videos, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So eventually somebody did like it. Just took a couple years.
So what would you say is your, like, maybe your most popular or most successful film that you've, self-described? What you can use whatever criteria you'd like, even just your favorite, maybe. But
I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, I bet you would know better than anybody else.
I think, I made this short film some time ago called Balance, and it starred Stephen Baldwin and Jason Marsden, and at the time, I had just graduated from university, and so for them to say, yes, we're gonna make this short with you, I think that in itself was like very successful. And then, the short played in New York, which was really cool. And Shorts International wanted to pick it up, so.
Sweet.
So that was cool too, so.
Well, I mean, it sounds like it definitely made some international splashes, for sure.
Yeah.
So how do you measure, like, for instance, this radio show? I'm aware of how many people are seeing it, will see it,
oh, no.
and, through the different mediums, there are several. There's YouTube, which is playing live, and you can see if there's people or not, or whatever, and when they come up. And then there's on Jess FM, there's this screen back here. This says how many people are listening live.
Oh, okay.
And now, when I post it later on, it'll also show how many people have watched it later on.
Right.
Do you get the same type of statistics about your movies? Like, how many people have watched your movie? Because you can't just, I assume you can't just look it up and watch it. You gotta pay for it in some way, shape, or form, right?
Right. So yes and no, depending on the film. So for example, we made this short for Telus, called Actress Denied.
Okay.
And
that was I just saw that one.
Yeah.
2017.
Yeah.
Telus Optic Network.
Yeah, so that was just this year.
And what was that about? Sorry.
No, it was just these two actresses show up for an audition and they both get denied.
This makes sense. And
so they try and go out and make their own script to make their own film.
All right.
In a little bit of a competitive and funny way.
Right on.
So that movie, we could see how many people played the one version online, but we can't, I have no idea how many people watched it on Telus.
Makes sense.
As an example.
So, with films like that play on Telus, do you get some type of royalty or payment for it in any way, or how does that work for you?
So, we got a grant to make it.
Okay, so they give you a set amount of money, and they go, get to her, enjoy, and better be up to at least this quality kind of deal, or?
I mean, they don't even say that.
No, what do they? I mean, how does that work? What if I wanted to start making movies? I'd be like, hey, can you give me some money? And what are the guidelines?
Well, for that one, it's a competition.
Competition. So you have to win. You have to have some talent and skill. So you're saying I shouldn't enter? I'm offended.
I did not
my
say
feelings.
That. You assumed you have no talent.
Right in the heart. No, but so you won a competition for that one.
Mm-hmm.
$10,000 grant. I assume that's what I read.
Yes. Yeah.
So what is Story Hive?
So Story Hive is run by Telus, Basically, they're looking for up-and-coming filmmakers in Alberta and BC.
Mm-hmm.
And they give them opportunities by awarding approximately $10,000 grants.
That's pretty good.
And I think there's like 4 different ones per year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 4 different opportunities, which I think is really...
It's like $1.2 million they're giving away. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, they get the content to play, right?
I guess that's true. They get $1.2 million for, 120,000 movies is not bad.
Exactly.
So, it's a pretty good deal, actually.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a win-win, and they probably meet their Canadian content criteria, too.
Interesting. So you applied for that and you won. You got $10,000 and you made a film, and that you said you could see how many people were actually viewing that one. Not the actual views, but where could you see it?
On YouTube.
On YouTube, and was it like
just sort of my YouTube, which isn't
it's
really...
difficult to really even.
Yeah.
I mean, even on
like
YouTube right now, it really doesn't make a whole lot of difference.
Yeah, exactly. A few hundred views or something.
Now, I mean, you've got a long resume here. It's a great big list of all of these different movies and films and post and pre and short and editor and feature, and I don't know what most of these things actually mean, but it looks like you've been doing this for like 5-6 years. Now, have you done the same job at all of these? No?
No.
What are the different jobs that you've kind of gone through? I assume that it's gotten better as time's gone on, or?
Yeah. So, you can kind of see...
Like, I think I saw the first one in, like, 2010. Right...
Yeah.
It's right there. Dilemma. Short film.
So that was my first short film. So I only did the story, so I didn't write it. And then I directed it. Boy, that was a learning curve.
Well, I mean, I can only literally imagine what you must have gone through. But it's what's the difference between not writing it and just the story? Like, I don't kind of get the distinction.
So, like, I came up with the idea.
For Dilemma.
It was the original idea from me, but somebody else wrote it.
All right. Okay.
Because I felt not confident enough to write it myself.
Makes sense. So they elaborated on your idea, and then you directed the subsequent film?
Yeah.
Excellent. And then, and you say that's not necessarily what you did, say, in 2011 for To Free My Soul.
Yeah, so I co-wrote.
So you felt a little more confident by that?
A little bit more confident.
A little bit more. So at this point, you're writing and telling people what to do and making the film possible. Okay. And then by 2012, it looks like we got Where'd You Run To Now?
So it was a music video.
Okay, so you've done music videos too.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, everybody's seen music videos. They're about as long as the actual music, and they can really be just about anything. How would you describe this one? Was this like 5 guys standing around doing the same pose, Backstreet Boys, or?
No, it was me and my friend decided we were gonna do a stop motion live action video, and it took us forever. And by the time we got close to completing it, the band had broken up.
Oh wow! So you spent so much time making the music video. The band's like, screw it, we're done. That's great. But did you finish the movie?
No, not quite. But I think we got about a minute and a half or something like that. I can't quite remember.
Well, I mean, stop motion is ridiculous with how much.
We did frame
effort.
by frame, yeah.
Geesh.
Coloring and reframing and
Well, you would learn a lot doing something like that for sure, and a lot of what not to do. I would wager as well.
Yeah.
2012 as well. You also did Intimidate Me, and that's a short film by Lamps Film Festival. So was that like, did you win something, or what was that about?
No, so it just played in both of those places.
At the NAAG Selected Film Screening in Lethbridge and Lamps Film Festival. Okay, so it was relatively successful then.
Yeah.
It looks like it was about the same as the one in 2011, if I had to take a completely uneducated guess.
Yeah, it did a little bit better, and then we released it online. It got couple thousand views.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, nothing wrong with that. A couple thousand of anything is... what do we got next year? Casual Friday 2012, Rosalind Revenge in 2013, trailers. So you did a trailer for feature film.
Yeah, so that was a competition for this Canada-wide project called Cinecoup.
Cinecoup?
Yeah.
What's that?
So they were going to award $1 million to make the film of the person that won.
And wait, so did you win that?
No.
Did you get $1 million? Is this $1 million movie? No, that's not it.
I think we got like 16th place or something.
Well, 16th isn't bad, so do you win any money for 16th place?
No.
Well, did you get a movie out of it?
I got a script out of it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So let's see, Collective Unconscious, it looks like you did that at pretty much the same time, 2013.
Yeah, actually, pretty much the exact same time.
How does that work when you're trying to do two completely different things at once? Do you get them confused?
Well, that one was a 24-hour film festival, so we had 24 hours to write it and make it.
I've heard of these, but I'm sure a lot of people haven't. What is it like? In 24 hours, what do you have to do? You have literally 24 hours from start to finish to do what?
A whole movie. So that film was, I think it was 5 minutes long? I can't remember how long it is. I haven't seen it for a while. But basically, the 24-hour film festival gives you three criteria for the film. And of course, I forget what those were. I think one was like, it has to have an egg in it or something.
Yeah, well,
and then you have to form a story around the 3 things that they give you.
Interesting.
So then you have to write it, and then you have to go about making it with the resources that you have. And then you have to, put music and sound and all that, and then deliver it within 24 hours.
Crazy. So, and I mean, it would be pretty tough to have a pre-canned idea in mind when they start here you have to have these elements explicitly included in the storyline. So how many people typically enter these 24-hour film festival deals?
How many people? Oh, I don't know. It's usually actually a lot though, because we definitely didn't win.
So is there some super 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 high quality ones up there, and then just some garbage people that just walk around with I'm not that bad, but
it's a variety of different age ranges and everything, and beginner, intermediate, usually not professionals. They don't
bother doing that anymore. Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so going on, it looks like this looks busy. This looks like a lot of stuff. What's all this?
Mm-hmm. So that was a feature film that was shot in Lethbridge by a professor at the U of L.
Okay.
And a bunch of students worked on the film.
I'm still going to the U of L, actually. Which professor?
Oh, cool. Derek Olson.
Heard of. Not super familiar with, but sorry, go on.
He's in New Media Department. He was making a feature film and hired students to work on it, and we all got different roles that were higher up than if we started at the bottom, which was nice.
Nice. No, I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, the teachers at the University of Lethbridge just made a film, and what did you do in relation to that then?
So I was an assistant producer.
Assistant producer? So you were pretty much the most senior person, other than...
Maybe the most senior student.
The most senior student doing this entire thing. And I mean, I'm reading this, it says it was at the Calgary International Film Festival, Kingdom Wood Christian Film Festival in Atlanta, Hamilton Film Festival in Ontario, Alexandria Film Festival in Virginia, Flathead Lake International Cinema Festival in Montana, Ampio Award for Best Actor. I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds impressive. So, it's not, I can read some of these words and I'm going, this is an internationally renowned movie where it won awards. And you were the most senior person on there.
No. I was the most senior student on there.
The most senior person student on there.
Not the most senior person.
Well, you know what? I mean, I can talk this up as much as I want, and it's your job to correct me. This is... But that sounds like it was really good. In 2000, it was called Common Chord. I guess if you're interested in checking it out, Common Chord came out in 2013.
Yeah.
And this Gianna was the assistant producer for that. Since then, you've done Balance. You mentioned that briefly earlier. And there's a whole page here of more stuff. Prairie Dog. I think I heard of that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was this one about? This one, again, this looks like you're getting even more popular every time you do something.
Thank you. So I produced that.
You produced this one, so
Yeah.
you are the most important person.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Just kidding. I'm sure that the director.
Somebody would take offense, you know.
Most important person. But in terms of being the overseer of the project, yeah.
Your central coordination. That's,
yeah.
Okay.
Coordination.
So this one, Prairie Dog, aka Fang.
Mm-hmm.
So is that like White Fang type style?
Well, it was released as Fang in Taiwan.
Oh, not quite then.
Yeah.
So, but it was seen by the Northern Fright Film Festival, awarded Best Actor and Favorite Feature. Genre Collaboration Festival awarded Best Fantasy Feature, Motor City Nightmares International. It looks like it was a horror film, if I have to take a guess here.
Yeah.
All right, because these
So
are completely
very
different.
PG horror film.
A very PG horror film.
Yeah.
It's about a prairie dog, so I don't know. I mean, Cujo was pretty scary, but Phantasmagorical Film Festival. That's totally a word.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound braggadocious, but I've heard it once or twice. Great Lakes International Film Festival, Underground Film Festival, Erie International Film Festival, the Optics Theatre Horror Film Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this was...
We won a couple awards
years
for
ago.
that. Yeah. We won best fantasy feature.
Best Fantasy Feature. So,
Yeah.
so
That was cool.
presumably what that means is there's a bunch of categories.
Yes.
And one of the categories is fantasies.
Yeah.
And a subcategory of that is features.
Yes.
Yeah, what else would there...
You know.
I'm not sure. It sounds like fantasies category. So,
Yeah.
so you won the best fantasy feature movie in the Northern Frights Film
In the genre one.
Celebration Film Festival.
Yeah.
That's sweet. So,
So that was cool.
again, I assume there's probably a lot of people that enter these types of things too, and this is probably some pretty stiff competition. Now, since 2010, when you started making these types of things, have you been working with all the same types of people, or have you kind of evolved into possibly less donation-oriented?
Yeah.
Like how are you winning as opposed to struggling?
Right. So, basically, I mean, Prairie Dog was financed with grants. So we did an application process, and it was part of a master's degree program as well.
Okay.
So there were grants available for that, and there was Alberta grants. And then there were a couple of people who donated money to it to get like a big thing done, like the color grade and things like that.
No, I mean, it's the finishing touches that really make the difference between third
Yeah.
place and first place, I would wager. So
Yeah, exactly. So I think it was great. I mean, we made it for very low budget. We shot it in 24 days.
24-day movie. Wow.
Yeah, it was filmed around Lethbridge.
It makes sense. Prairie Dog, filmed in Lethbridge, where, I mean, not many better places to film a prairie movie than
Yeah.
middle of the prairies, I guess.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. I mean, it looks like we've done a whole bunch of these movies, and we've talked about this for quite a while here, but you came from Ireland, and you moved to Lethbridge.
Mm.
Do you remember much of Ireland?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
You miss it?
What's that?
Do you miss it?
I miss my family and my
Well,
aunts and uncles and
Okay,
cousins.
so, like, you had more family back home than what just came to Canada then.
Oh, yeah.
Not everybody came. Even though there were aunts and uncles already here,
And then
there were even
left.
more back home. Oh, they
Yeah.
came and left.
Yeah, they left.
And you guys were the only
and
ones that stayed, or what?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's semi-interesting again. It's they kind of just like dropped you off in Canada, and then
No. I mean, yeah. like the economy wasn't good, so we came here, and then we had settled. So.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, I love it here. That's pretty much where I've had options to move, but I've decided not to ever. But presumably, I mean, I know that you have moved around to be on a lot of these different films and whatnot. Has there been anywhere else that you enjoyed living more?
New York.
Ooh, why?
That's my favorite place.
What do you like about it? Is it the song? If I can make it there. No?
I like everything about New York.
Everything? That's a bold statement.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things in New York. I mean...
know.
Okay, describe New York then. When you think of New York, what do you think of?
I think about the long trips on the subway. I think about the culture and the people. Everyone is really nice. I find like they're kind of Canadian.
I've actually got a ton of people from New York on the group that is definitely going to be seeing this at some point or another.
Good.
There's a lot of people from New York. I tell you what, I've noticed there's a distinct high amount.
Yeah.
So subway rides, and I mean, you how many times have you been there? Do you go often, or do you travel there a lot, or is it just some like yes, you go all the time? Then is that kind of where you vacation then?
Yeah, I've been there already 4 times this year.
This year.
Yeah.
Wow. So why? Like what? How can you just go to New York 4 times in a year? What do you? Don't you work? This is. I swear this was pretty long here. This is 2017. The Man from the Diner. That wasn't in New York, I don't think, was it?
No.
No. So why? How could you spend so much time in New York? How does that work? What do? Do you just go down there for fun?
No, I mean, I would like to live there and work there, and I can't really do that until I have enough of a body of work and can get an American work visa.
Makes sense.
But I go there to learn. So I watch films there. I meet producers and mentors and
Right on.
and read a lot of scripts, and hopefully when I can afford my work visa, I could be going by early next year.
All right, and then you just hopefully go stay in New York for a bit and make some movies and and take off as a professional producer.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, I don't see any particular issue with it, considering everything you've done so far. It looks like a very promising career for you here.
Thank you.
So this one here, it says 2018, and I noticed that's not the year yet.
So that's the year of release.
Of release. So this has already been made, and they're sitting on it. Presumably marketing it or some such similar thing, or what do you think? How does that work? What section of the producing of a movie is that?
Well, right now, I'd say they probably finished editing the film, but they probably still have music and sound to do, and then when they're ready, they'll release it in March.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so we have a movie coming out in March. It's called A Wrinkle in Time.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like you were a producer for this.
I only produced the VFX plates unit.
I don't know what that is.
So they basically take images, and they're called plates, and they're put behind sort of where the green screen would be or the blue screen.
Okay. Yes,
so
I'm following
that's,
this.
So they would film the actors probably in the studio in Los Angeles, and we would film the exterior, and then they would match them
Interesting.
together. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I remember this one time I did this one thing where I had to get sucked into this hole in hell. They shot me in the head, and they're like, "You're gonna get sucked into hell." At least that's what it looked like on film later. But it was just me falling into this hole in a cutout. It was kind of difficult, honestly. But I can kind of see how they match everything up now. That kind of makes a little bit more sense. So you were in charge of the VFX plates unit for this particular. I don't know if we even had a VFX plates unit. It was just kind of green everywhere.
Yeah.
But so, well, that should be interesting. It's going to be coming out in March, so definitely go see that. Now, were you always planning on being a movie producer? Has that kind of just been the goal? Yeah.
No.
Popped out of Ireland, moved to Canada, and goes, I'm going to be a movie producer in New York?
Well, yeah, sure. When I was a kid, I loved movies. and I really wanted to do something in film, but I never thought that was possible.
Well, I mean, nobody ever thinks it's possible till they try it, but looking at what you
Yeah.
took at the university, it kind of seems like you were geared towards that.
Well, I didn't start in new media.
Okay, so what was your path then that got you to where you are?
So I started with an attempt to be an English major.
Ooh, fun. English majors, you and I.
And didn't work out.
Yeah, it's an interesting, that might not be the right word.
Yeah.
So
And then-
you started to be an English major and decided to switch fields.
I thought, oh, maybe I still want to be a teacher. So I tried to switch into, is it like a BA, B.Ed or something?
Okay, yeah, bachelor's of education, BA,
Yeah.
something like that, yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't know, like, it was going to be in general studies kind of deal, because I still didn't know what I wanted
And
to
not
teach.
specifically just a teacher of some sort,
Yeah.
general idea. So teaching, you kind of wanted to direct the class, so to speak.
Well, I didn't want to be a teacher.
No?
My dad wanted me to be a teacher.
Makes sense. So you
Yeah.
went to school, you were going to be a teacher, and then you were in school for being a teacher, and now you're a movie producer. How did that happen?
Okay. It went further than that. I switched into psychology afterwards.
Psychology in between teaching.
And then,
Well, I mean, this is all progressive steps. You're going to learn...
Yeah.
How long were you in psychology for?
I was in psychology for almost a full year.
Wow.
And
You learned some
I
interesting
liked
stuff?
it, but I couldn't write tests. The ABCD stuff just ruined me.
Well, so the psychology tests are less than fun, for sure.
Yeah, like I could answer any question. Like you give me a question in class, I can answer it. But then when it came to test time, I wouldn't ever do well on them.
I remember the first year psychology classes, there was so many students in them, just
Yeah.
enormous.
Yeah.
You'd never have a chance to speak to anybody if you didn't understand anything
Yeah.
either way. But
Yeah,
so, psychology major,
and then
and then,
and then I took a neuroscience class while I was doing psychology, and I really liked it. So then I switched to neuroscience.
oh yeah, it's my mom has a master's in neuroscience actually. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, you don't.
So then,
You're still good.
yeah, and then I switched to new media.
All right, and so new media was the one that pretty much got you to where you were looking to go then? Or did you ever know that you wanted to start new media, or did you just kind of stumble into it? Because it sounds like you might have accidentally gone into new media and gone, hey, I like this.
Well, it was the dean of the Faculty of Fine Arts. His daughter and I had been friends since grade 1, something like that. He was over there for dinner and complaining about how I didn't know what I wanted to do with life, and
Makes sense,
how I
yeah.
had kept switching majors, and I still didn't know. And he just kind of said, like, "You're one of the more creative people I know," and I thought, "Oh wow, that's really nice." And so he said, "Why don't you swing by? We're doing there was a new media fair the next day." So I did. I went by and I saw these students making a film, and I turned to him and I was like, "That can happen in Lethbridge?"
Absolutely, absolutely.
He was like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, well, yes, please."
Nice.
And I wrote an essay for them because I didn't even have a computer, so I didn't know how software worked or anything. So I wrote them an essay, and he approved it, and I was in new media.
Wow, and that was that, eh?
Yeah.
And you graduated from new media, and then you went on to the university in Calgary?
Mm-mm.
No? What did you do after that?
I opened up a business, and I started making television commercials.
You opened a business and started making television commercials. Interesting. How did that go?
It was successful, but it wasn't my passion.
So you don't do that anymore?
No.
How long did you do that for?
Oh, that's a good question. We were doing that for a few years, like while we were working on films.
I was doing the math, and I'm like, there's really no way you couldn't have been doing it while simultaneously.
Yeah.
So, like, what kind of commercials did you come out with?
We did everything, now that I think of it. We did a couple of restaurant ads locally. We did, a politician hired us actually to make one of his ads, which was funny.
Oh, wow.
Because we were like, you never know, right? Because if you make an ad for a politician, will everyone assume that you
Didn't necessarily subscribe to this political point of view, or you just,
Yeah.
no, I'm just making the movie, man. He paid me to do the job, and that's what I'm doing. I'm doing the job. Yes, I am good at the job. So.
So I was a little bit worried about making that, and then I thought, oh no, you know what?
No, it's good. That's good.
I'm getting paid to move a camera. And,
that's exactly it. That's exactly how I would look at it.
So.
No, if you're good at what you do, it shouldn't matter who wants to, you know, subscribe to that. So.
And it was a really good, a good person that I was talking with that we made the ad for. He was super nice and all that. And yeah, it was just you never want to mix your business with like politics or religion because you're gonna offend a large sum of people, right?
Yeah, no, typically. I mean, I totally did not prescribe to that theory. That's pretty much the theory that I prescribed the opposite of. You guys all know, and you've kind of been told, or you probably have been aware, you're on my Facebook too, so I'm sure you've seen once or twice, but the Facebook group that is going to be seeing this, I Hate Donald Trump is the name of it. There's a distinct group of people there, but it's not like Republican versus Democrat. That's not even how it is anymore. It's like smart people versus Donald Trump at this point. It's not even, because bothers me. Anyways, he's a character. He's a character. A character that should be in a movie, not in politics. Yep.
Okay.
You could have some interesting scripts off him.
Probably, yeah.
You could, there already have been.
Of course, would probably charge multi-millions
ridiculous
of
amounts.
dollars
Ridiculous amounts. Yeah, no, it would be fun going through all the lawsuits and whatnot as well. Actually, speaking of, have you ever you've been doing this for a long time, what kind of issues can you get into for like legal issues for filming people and things like that? Is there anything that you need to be aware of, or?
I mean, if you do your due diligence as a producer, then no, you mostly don't. I mean, you have to get the right insurance, get the right permits, get the right permissions, and once those are all in place, you film the movie. And then you give those over to the distributor, right? So once that's all done, there's no reason for anyone to file a lawsuit.
Makes sense. And even if it did, there would be nothing to do with you either way.
Yeah,
it really wouldn't have much to do with it.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. You grew up in Lethbridge and you went to CCH.
Yes.
What types of things did you enjoy doing in Lethbridge, Alberta as a child?
I played basketball.
Basketball? Wow. Everybody asked me if I played basketball. The answer is no, I did not. But you liked it, apparently.
Yeah, I played it all the time.
How much basketball did you actually get into? Was there any other sports that you were involved with, or was this a high school type thing, or?
I did play other sports, but none as passionately. So I did play soccer growing up. I played soccer and basketball growing up, and then I played a little bit of volleyball, a little bit of badminton, a little bit of track, but it was all about basketball.
And so, do you still play, or do you? No. You just why? Is there any particular reason that you stopped, or was it just like a high school team kind of basketball thing, or?
Yeah, it was. I didn't really have the best time in high school, and I kind of got really sick of the people I was playing basketball with. And so I said, yeah, screw this.
Yeah, that's the end of that, and that is sometimes the way it goes, unfortunately. Although it does give you rise to focus on other things, for sure. Did you ever look back into it at university or anything like that, or would you be interested in playing basketball again?
It would have made my life easier had I stuck it out, because I probably would have had a scholarship, and I could have went to. Yeah.
So you were pretty good then.
Yeah, I was pretty good.
So, let me ask you why you haven't done any films on basketball.
I don't know. I mean, it was hard because I loved the sport so much, but I just didn't. I hated the people. So to go and tell a story about basketball would be, I don't know.
It's a unique perspective for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it, but I hate it.
Yeah.
It's just how much better can a movie get?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you grew up playing basketball, and now you make movies. What else do you do with your spare time? You have a lot of hobbies?
No.
No? You don't? It's pretty much just movies. Movies all day long, then travel to New York and watch more movies? Is that,
I mean, you know, you don't really have time for hobbies when you're a filmmaker because when you're working up to 18 hours a day, sometimes 7 days a week, and, you know, aside from watching movies.
I mean, it's time consuming. Don't get me wrong, it takes a long time to...
Yeah, I mean, I like to write in different mediums too. So I like to write short stories, I like to write poetry.
Okay.
I read a lot. I've read like over 2,000 scripts.
Wow.
But I also read books, you know, because you have to keep...
Diverse and interesting.
Yeah,
and
I have to know kind of like what's happening, what kind of stories are popular right now, and so you always need to know that. So I read a lot. I like to hang out with my family. I come to town and I want to just see my family and hang out.
So, I mean, it sounds like you've got a huge family no matter which way I describe it. How many live in Lethbridge?
My parents.
Yep.
My two brothers.
Okay. Older or younger?
One older, one younger.
So you're right in the middle. How was that?
It's good.
Awesome. I was the oldest of 3 growing up. So, I had my brother who was 2 years younger than me and my sister who's 5 years younger than me.
Mm.
They say that if you have siblings that are more than 5 years apart, it's like you didn't have them at all. Now,
oh, interesting.
yeah, it's a semi, because it's the age gap when you're a child. You know, it makes a huge difference if you're 5 years older than somebody. You literally have nothing in common with them anymore.
Oh, weird.
But I mean, I guess it's bridged by the middle child is pretty much how that works. Did you have a lot of family like back home in Ireland? Did your aunts and uncles have a lot of children as well? And then, so is it just like a huge? Have you ever gone to a huge family reunion? And how does that work? Like,
I mean, so in my father's family, like my grandparents had 10 children.
wow.
So
Okay.
I have a lot of cousins. I think we counted at one time at 40 and we stopped counting. So
It's just like I don't even know who you are.
so I'm not entirely sure how many we have exactly.
So it's a huge freaking family.
Yeah.
Wow. And are they all back in Ireland?
Mostly. I mean, I do have a cousin in New York.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And what do they do in New York? Anything to do with movies?
He's an artist, so he paints and does kind of multimedia art.
Well, that's kind of cool. So you figure you'd probably meet up with him if you're ever going to be moving to New York then. I assume that's part of the plan.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's see here. What, you've got something coming up here, if I remember correctly. You're going to be leaving Lethbridge very soon.
Yes.
When are you leaving?
I leave November 1st.
And it's for a big film or a small something or an animated thingamabobber, or what's it? What's the doohickey that you're doing?
Well, I'm going to the American film market.
You're going to the American film market.
Yes.
That sounds like where you buy and sell films.
Exactly.
Cool.
There you go.
And so I guess I'm learning. What
Yes.
are you doing there? Are you buying or are you selling?
I am trying to sell 2 films.
Sweet. And
Yes.
and are they listed here?
No, so the films I list here are the ones after they've completed.
Ah.
I don't list them until they've, at least completed. The one I won't get listed unless I sell it, so.
Makes sense. So if it doesn't sell, it's not popular enough to list, I suppose. Well, not necessarily popular enough, but.
You know, I came in late on that project, so, I mean, my role isn't significant enough that I would get to be the producer, you know what I mean? So, like, I'd be maybe the post-producer, or I don't even know what term we would find for me.
Yeah, just invent something, and this is what you can do for this one.
The salesperson, basically.
But you're going to be leaving in November to try to sell these movies that you've made.
Yes.
How long have you been making these for?
So the first one is a script in development. Like I was explaining, as a producer, I found a script. Written by a woman in London who's originally from Australia, and then her husband is going to direct it.
Okay, all right. I'm following so far. Actually, you are making sense.
This is
an Australian woman living in London whose husband is going to direct it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. No, I totally got it.
We got this. So it was really, really a fun script, a fun read, and I really liked it. And it's kind of sci-fi, and I don't know.
It's sci-fi. Anything is kind of interesting.
So yeah.
It sounds like it looks like you're excited about it. You've got this sparkle when you're trying to describe it. You're like, ooh, it's gonna be exciting. So no, it sounds like it's gonna be good. But you said 2.
Yeah. So she had previously written one, and he directed it as well. So that's their first film together. And it's kind of a real-time hostage thriller, and they shot it in 5 days.
Wow.
And they're gonna finish editing it. Like, it's finished editing, but they'll finish the whole post-process hopefully on Monday.
Wow.
So we're gonna try and sell the completed film.
Just right in time for everything. That should be good. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
5-day film that's going to be ready by Monday, and you're bringing it to the International Film Festival.
American
Film Market. The market where you buy and sell films in November.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that should be fun.
Yeah.
And so, if everything goes perfect, what do you hope will happen?
So if everything goes perfect, we sell the completed film, and hopefully it gets distributed in the new year so people can see it.
So what exactly does that mean? Does that mean like it would get played at movie theaters, or?
Probably not, because it doesn't have any known cast in it.
Okay, makes sense.
So that's kind of it's a big factor in getting a movie into the theater, but it can be streamed online and.
Absolutely. Okay,
Netflix,
so
kind of thing.
Presumably you'd be looking on Netflix or in the streaming categories or anything like that if you're trying to find it.
TV.
Or just on regular TV.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That actually happens a lot more often than you might think.
Yeah.
Now, so if somebody were to try to find a movie that you had done, they could just search your name, right?
Yeah.
In theory. So
Yeah.
if you're looking out how to spell it. Oh, it's backwards, but that's GIANNAISABELLA.
Yeah.
And so, when will we, the public, know if you have been successful in trying to sell your merchandise on the market?
Oh, that's so much pressure, right? Well, usually I post stuff on Facebook.
So we should follow you on Facebook, is what you're saying?
Yeah, because I do have, I have another film, a short film that we're raising money for right now on Indiegogo.
Ah, need money on Indiegogo.
I do, yes.
I have no problem dropping this kind of stuff in here for you. This is why I ask.
Yeah, we're basically, we wanted to make a short film to help raise awareness for mental health issues.
Oh, fantastic. Is there any specific type of mental health issues that you're highlighting, or just a myriad?
Yeah, we're highlighting depression and anxiety within the film itself.
Excellent. So, how long have you been trying to raise money for that then?
We just started.
Oh.
Earlier this week, Wednesday. Yeah.
Just started. So, hey, if you want to be part of a brand new film about really good things, give some money to this lady.
Well, it won't go to me. It'll go to...
Well, give the money to the fund on Indiegogo that'll go to the funding the movie about mental health issues.
Yeah, and then we'll be donating to Lifeline as well.
Oh, you're donating. Okay, so what is Lifeline then, for the people who need to know what that is?
Lifeline is a mental health nonprofit organization.
Excellent, excellent. They're basically good people doing good stuff for people who have rough times.
Yeah, so...
Which is good things.
Yeah, we're making the film so that they can play it, and hopefully it gets to the right people that maybe help them in the future.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, just having the material available for people to watch is going to be really, really, I mean, it's essential. It's people watch movies. That's what they do. Just little short films and informational things. And so that'll be great. I mean, it looks like we're closing in on pretty much a full hour here, believe it or not.
Wow.
I know. Time flies when you're having fun. So... This is, I mean, obviously, I totally planned this out. No, this is just how I roll. But we've pretty much covered your previous movies and your history and how you got to where you're going. And we took a brief look at what you're doing currently, right now, what you're hoping to do in the brief future. Mostly. Yeah. Was there anything else that you wanted to throw out there to the people? To the people. Let's just call it the people.
The people. Well, I do have 2 other films that I'm also working on, because when you're a producer, you make lots of different films. And
that's 5.
Yeah.
I'm counting.
And so we were, fortunate enough to get full financing for both of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well done.
So, and one came from Lethbridge, from an investor here locally, and I think we're hoping to make a feature here in 2019.
Nice.
Once I get all these other projects off the ground.
Well, I mean, if you get all 5 working, chances are I would wager you know what you're doing by then. And so the 2019 feature film, which will be happening in Lethbridge.
Yeah.
I said it. Did I say it?
You said it.
It's true.
Happening.
It's going to happen. It's self-fulfilling prophecy. This is going to be a thing.
Yeah.
So by, just over a year from now, Miss Gianna Isabella will be... am I pronouncing that correctly, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, good. You're looking at me like that's unusual, too. So, in just over a year, full-length feature film in Lethbridge is what we're planning for. But in the meantime, we have to get these 5 other films out of the way.
Yeah.
And these pesky little things, there's a couple that are going to be sold in November. There's one on mental health. There's Indiegogo that needs some funding for that. And then there's 2 more that have been funded.
Yeah. One is going to shoot, hopefully, in New York.
And one is going to shoot in New York.
Yeah. And then
international.
The other one's going to shoot in Ireland.
Oh, exciting. Yeah. So you get to go back to Ireland.
Yes.
That should be fantastic.
Yeah.
Ooh. You know what this is saying?
Saying we're done.
It's saying we should be done very soon, because if we don't finish by choice, it will finish us by lack of battery. Even though I'm plugged in, it's still dying.
That's weird.
Yeah. But it has been a full hour, and unless you've got anything else you wanted to touch on,
I don't think so.
I think that we've covered pretty much everything that we need to for the time being.
Yeah.
It has been great. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
We are going to end this live feed on YouTube.
Bye.
Bye.